Night show is at the LC, still a few tickets available. Let's talk about the live shows. Okay.
Yes, let's.
The audience here in America, they like to shout things out at you ladies. I'd say love is one of the big words. What else? Song titles. How does...
Sometimes they just yell their favorite hockey team.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I like that.
Here in America?
Yeah, I think I mean, we have a lot more guys in our audience than ever before, and I feel like that is their way of trying to connect to us, is by telling us what their favorite hockey team is, because we're from Canada, and we love hockey. We talk about it a lot, we blog about it a lot, and so the other night this guy yelled, like, "Go Flames!" which is the Calgary Flames, which is where we're from, like 100,000 times, and finally I was like, yes, the Flames. Ow! We like the Canucks now, well, I do, because I live in Vancouver, but yeah, people yell a lot. Our audience is very interactive, and we're pretty much almost always excited about that. Sometimes it's annoying when one of us is trying to tell a story and someone's like, "Tegan! Tegan! Tegan!" It's just as you would imagine, like a normal conversation. That's how I feel, is like when I'm talking to the audience, I just imagine I'm talking to a group of my friends or something. But generally my group of friends doesn't yell, "Tegan! Tegan!" at me and then throw their bra. And it's never really cute little bras, it's like giant, like they went in and got it out of the bargain bin, like the biggest bra of all time. And they're like, "I'm gonna bring this to the Tegan Sara show, and I'm gonna throw it on stage, and then everyone's gonna laugh the whole song, and then her self-esteem is gonna drop, like 10 clicks. And she's gonna be like, "Why doesn't someone come get the bra? Get the bra off the stage, get it off, get it off." So that's just a moment in my brain during the show.
Now, is that everywhere you play? Canada, Europe?
No, just America.
Just America.
No, people are pretty, they get pretty enthusiastic and excited. It's interesting too, we've toured with a lot of bands and we've opened for a lot of bands over the years, and there are certain bands that I think have that kind of fan response. Even one of our first tours, 10 years ago now actually, we were supporting Neil Young when he was playing, amphitheaters and arenas, and this is like an icon, and he's so well respected. And there were moments sometimes. I mean, he's interactive with the audience in a way that's much more traditional. He doesn't tell long stories, or he's very much about playing music and jamming, and but every once in a while, he would say something to the audience, and you could hear a pin drop. It was just 17,000 people silenced, or I feel like, if you were to scream something out at him, he's like a unicorn. It's you don't want to offend him in any way. You might never show himself again for a century. So, but then it was really interesting because he did this acoustic sort of stripped down theater tour, and I heard from a number of people that it was sort of relentless. People were screaming out song titles at him, and I just thought to myself, maybe because he was suddenly just this man on stage, just himself, and there was maybe some of that that boundary had been removed, and people, I just couldn't imagine yelling at Neil Young. I just, he's such a sweet guy, and I wondered if people just lost their minds, because they were suddenly so close to him and wanted to make sure they heard us.
Is this your way of saying that you think our audience is just so flabbergasted at being close to us, they lose their minds, and then they're like, "I'm taking my bra off, don't try to stop me."
I do feel like there's a group mentality that happens where people, they start doing what other people around them are doing, and I think definitely we see that with our audience. If the audience is really subdued, there very rarely will be that sort of "oh my god" hysteria, but I feel once one person starts being hysterical, it's group mentality, people just get rowdy. It's crazy.
Well, you put on a very entertaining live show. Have you guys thought about releasing a live CD? I know you've done a DVD, right? Before.
It's interesting because people always ask us about are you going to put out a live CD, because I think they want the talking, and it's interesting because, as you pointed out, we did put out a DVD of a show, and we cut all the talking out of it, because after watching all the talking 3 times, I was like, "Oh God, we're annoying." And so I think we need to take more than one show so we can take the best of the stories, because we hit our mark maybe 70% of the time, but sometimes there's some duds, sometimes there's just a disconnect, one of us mumbles, or the joke doesn't hit, or whatever. So
usually that's me.
No. Sarah's stories are they're deeper, they're hard, you have to invest, and I find in the seated venues she really gets into it, and people really get it, and I'm more of the I'm like the gym teacher, you know, like I'm on stage and I'm kind of yelling at the audience, like I'm like, how is everyone doing? Are you having a good time? And Sarah's like, this one time I wrote a movie, screenplay, and you know, and so I think it's just the live show. Yeah, it would have to be really special, and we'd have to like probably tape like 20 of them and pick the best of. But it's definitely something Sarah and I are always doing. We listen to our audience and we try to give them what they are asking for a lot of times. And so whether that's song, you know, choices like or just like where we play or how much, like we're constantly polling our audience, trying to understand what it is that our audience wants from us. You know, at this point we've been around for 12 years and we've seen a lot change, and you don't want to lose your audience. Like we really like to play live music, and so we want to make sure that we're giving the audience as much of what they want that we can. You know, in return we get giant white bras, which is awesome.
You definitely have a very passionate, dedicated fan base, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's this next song?
I think we're gonna play On Directing.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
off the new record. And that's all I have to say about it. It's
What does on directing mean?
I actually On Directing, I took it from a David Mamet. David Mamet is a filmmaker, and he just does a lot of speaking about films, and he writes plays. And anyways, I took it from a book that he wrote about filmmaking, and I believe the title was like, it was like essays, and it was like on directing. And I just I liked the way that I liked the image that it conjured up, you know, like somebody directing you, manipulating you, if you will.
Tegan and Sara live in the CD101 Big Room.
Directing me, eyes focused like a microscope, the cuts you need, eyes focused like a microscope, go steady with me. I know it turns you off when I get talking like a teen, I get talking like a teen. You're directing me, you're dressed up, I lose my grip, my focus, make those eyes at me, I lose my grip, I lose my focus, go steady with me. I know it turns you off when I get talking like a teen, I get talking like a teen. Go steady with me. I know it turns you off when I get talking like a teen, I get talking like a teen. You're directing me, eyes focused like a microscope, hit the cuts you need, eyes focused like a microscope. Directing me, you're dressed up, I lose my grip, my focus, make those eyes at me, I lose my grip, I lose my focus, go steady with me. I know it turns you off when I get talking like a teen, I get talking like a teen. Steady with me. I know it turns you off when I get talking like a teen, I get talking like a teen. Go steady with me. I know it turns you off when I get talking like a teen, I get talking like a teen.
At the LC tonight,